Hello and welcome to episode 74 of What If Civilization Started Over. Let's get into it. Last episode, a lot of things happened. Notably, in fact, this giant Middle Eastern conflict thingy here, and now the Middle East is very much divided. And, well, yeah, it makes sense with all these countries. They're still alive, but none of them are communists. They're also capitals and alliances may look slightly different, and that is because the map had to kind of get revamped, and now I don't have the ideology layer, and I don't really think it's going to be too important, since the only ideologies in the world were democracy, monarchy, and flawed democracy. Yeah. Time to talk about Antarctica, because the Hong Kong colony is it's not supposed to be here. So it is going to go to Papua New Guinea. And now we have, Hong Kong is truly not on the map. We even forgetting about Hawaii and Let's go here. Because Europe's conflict that has been brewing up for the past couple episodes is starting today. Because randomly, the Irish are going to be invading the British Isles, or the United Kingdom. And when they do that, they will be quickly able to invade the Welsh area, take this thing, and eventually take the capital, forcing the United Kingdom to surrender. Which is going to cause the Hexagon Alliance to declare war on the Pentagon Alliance. That is something. And the red team was prepared for this. So they're going to be starting by invading the green team. Because the green team will be losing a lot of its areas and will be losing its capital. And also the Germanics will be pushing up into the green team. And, the green team is going to be falling. But the Germanics, where they aren't doing as well, is over in Denmark. Because they're going to be losing pretty badly over there. When we go over here, Eastern Poland is winning against Western Poland because Western Poland is kind of, squished in between the two. And the closest ally is down here, which is maybe possibly focusing on other. Oh, wait, they are focusing. Yeah. But just to say, Western Poland is going to be falling for obvious reasons. And also, this Estonian country, Latvian, Lithuanian thingy here, Latvian is going to be invading into Western Poland and is going to be doing exponentially well against them. Yeah. But then the Germanics will be pushing back against the Danish, and they will be able to, take the Danish capital, and then this country will be able to take some of these islands. And this country will be able to take the Swedish country's capital. That's something. Ukraine has been gaining a lot of power recently. As it's going to be getting a lot more power by invading into this country. As it's going to be going very well, as they recently just fought a war with this country. And now, in my opinion, if you don't count the Mediterranean Union, and I'll do power rankings after this war, if I remember. But they will be able to go ahead and take the capital of this country. And this country is also focusing on Western Poland down here. Yeah. And the Ukrainians can push into this country. And also, the Estonians were, then they realized that they kind of made a bad decision because they're kind of completely surrounded by their enemies. As Western Poland will be able to push back against the Latvians. And the green country here will be forced to surrender, which is not too good for the Hexagon Alliance. As well, just kind of traps these areas. As the Polish will be able to push in through here, like this. And so will the gold team, as they will be able to take up this country. Yeah. And the Mediterranean Union is, going to be invading this country as well. Very cool. And then they will they will be forcing this country to surrender in a pretty short amount of time. Makes sense being the strongest country in the world and being able to take out a bunch of countries. But they will be able to take out these countries. When you go up north, the Hexagon Alliance. No. Oh, yeah. Hexagon Alliance is going to be very, very not doing well at all, as this capital is retaken. And then the Irish will be making a landing all the way here and will be starting their invasion of Norway. And with the help of Sweden and also this country, they will be forcing the Norwegians into surrendering. Yeah, like this. And then Finland. Finland is not doing well at all, as they will be losing their capital, and they will be forced to surrender, as they know they can't fight half of Europe all at once. They know they can't. So they just surrender to, well, exist. We can look at a peace treaty. Let's look at a peace treaty for this war. And this is the peace treaty. Yeah. If we go to the British Isles, the Irish will be taking this land, and the red team will convince Ireland to give them, if I can get this part of the British Isles. And Ireland's goal of trying to unite the British Isles has failed because of the one country. Yeah, and with the green team, yeah, they're split. For Denmark, they are also split. And by Germany and this other country thing here. The Irish will also be getting this part of the Norwegians, and, well, Norway is also, well, split. Finland is still allowed to live in actually pretty good condition. But other countries are less fortunate, because this same country, the Estonian country, will be annexing this land from Latvia, and this blue country will annex this land. Well, Germany will annex these lands, and the Mediterranean Union takes more land. And well, Poland, specifically Eastern Poland, gets a lot more land. But now they're just going to be called Poland, as they would be annexing this part of the red country. What? There. That part of the blue country, and this part of the Estonian country. And the rest of this goes to the gold team, this goes to the gold team, and this goes to the gold team. Not the same gold team that, from like episode 9. Not the same one. Very, very different countries. And that is the peace treaty of Europe, and Europe looks very different. And before we do the power rankings, let's just say, this alliance doesn't really have a purpose anymore, as the main purpose was to counter its other alliance, but now that alliance doesn't exist, well, Ireland leaves, the red team leaves, Germany leaves, well, Scandinavia leaves, and, well, yeah, other things leave. And the alliance disbands. But Ukraine will also be just reforming the alliance, but under their own terms, let's say. Yeah. And the Scandinavian country will be joining it, and so will the Estonian country. This is sort of like a pact to maybe go against certain powers like Germany or Poland. Yeah. Now it's time to do those power rankings. Obviously, after I erase everything from the war layer. Now it's actually time to do those top 10 power rankings. Yeah. First place, strongest country in the world, it's still the Mediterranean. Nope. There. Mediterranean. I forgot what to spell. Mediterranean Union. They're still the strongest and has been ever since World War IV. Yeah. Second strongest country in the world? I would say nothing in Asia, really. The Americas are kind of on a collapse. Sort of. Maybe not quite, but maybe hinting towards some sort of collapse of the Americas. Just saying. But actually, I will make the second strongest country an Asian country. I will make it the Papua New Guinea country, which is this Indonesian thingy area that got very strong after the Hong Kong coalition. And then third strongest country in the world is actually Ukraine. Yeah, fourth strongest country in the world? The Ukraine got very strong out of this war, but I'm going to be saying America, and then fifth is I will say Brazil. No, that's fifth. Sixth strongest, I would say, is Mexico. If I can, seventh strongest country in the world, I would say, is Ireland. Eighth. What would I do? Oh, I forgot about you. I'll just say that's just Persia. Yeah. Eighth strongest country in the world. Ninth strongest country in the world. Oh, South Africa. 10th strongest country in the world? Who would be the 10th strongest country in the world here? I am going to give it to Germany. There. And that is the power rankings of the world currently. Make sure these are good. Make sure you remember these, as this one here is pretty important with Ukraine. And maybe possibly Ukraine is very important, as they may be going on an expansion conquest soon. Who knows though? But now, where to go next? Oh, the Middle East, the place of very nice battles. And what I mean by very nice battles is countries fighting each other, or really the Mediterranean Union declaring war on countries. As the Mediterranean Union will be declaring war on these two countries here, and will be attempting to take them over. Why else would they be declaring war? And they quickly take over the southern country, and eventually the northern country is just going to be forced to surrender. Let's look at a peace treaty. And this is the peace treaty. There's a lot of green in the Middle East. There's the Mediterranean Union, obviously. That's green. This green country, this green country. I could maybe say this is slightly green, just a tiny bit. Yeah. Time to go to North Africa, as the Mediterranean Union is going to be invading its own allies. Yeah. And, the Mediterranean Union is going to get a response from all the countries here. And the Mediterranean Union is just going to say, look at that power ranking. You know, none of you are on that power ranking, except Persia. 8th? Only 8th. And we're not even connected. So basically, the Mediterranean Union is just forcing them to not do anything. As they say, it's for their imperialist conquest to take over the Mediterranean Union, to the whole Mediterranean Sea. And these two are in the way. So the Mediterranean Union is going to be, invading their own allies, and will be attempting, they also have the strongest navy, so they'll be able to take over all this coastline within a couple weeks. And eventually force Algeria to surrender, which just leaves Morocco. Morocco, I wonder how you're going to fight against the Mediterranean Union. Answer is, you're not. Let's look at a peace treaty. And they will actually be fully annexing both of these countries, which makes the world worry. But one more thing the Mediterranean Union wants to do is invade Egypt. So that's what they're going to do. And they're just going to be making a spearhead towards the capital. And, they're going to be forcing Egypt to surrender. Peace treaty, anybody? And this is the peace treaty. Yeah. And the Mediterranean Union will actually be selling a tiny bit of this land that they don't want over to this country. Specifically, the lands I've just outlined. these lands will be sold to this country, which according to the Mediterranean Union, makes their borders look better. And they don't like straight lines with their borders, so they're just going to be selling part of their land to make their borders look better. And that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of What If Civilization Started Over. See you in the next episode, and bye.